Welcome to episode 447 of Fourth and Jawn, entitled "What the Bucs." Because if you were an Eagle fan who might have sat in the airport for a couple of days, had your flights canceled, uh, had to battle some kind of Hurricane Helene, um, I'm just saying the level of, I'd say, excitement for Eagle fans to make the trip all the way down to Tampa was up there. I mean, we spoke to Eagle fans regardless. It didn't matter what the situation was. Everyone was excited to see our Eagles play in Florida. We knew what was up against us. We didn't arrive into Tampa until Saturday. We were supposed to fly out on Thursday. So you talk about the anticipation of the build up. If we finally get into Tampa to see a team that didn't show up. They didn't get off the plane. They might have played the game, but if you're thinking about this football team and what you expect from a Philadelphia Eagles football team, the team did not show up. And I'm a disclaimer, right? This is probably the worst football game that I have ever attended. I attended a lot of NFL football games. It was the hottest football game that I've ever attended. Ask me how long we lasted and said by the second quarter, I was in the hallways because we were getting baked. We were getting baked. It was extremely hot. I'm talking about, I was like, do I pass out here in the stands or do I go in the hallway? That's how hot it was. So disclaimer. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna put a lot of this blame on Nick Sirianni. At some point in some time, you talk about this identity of this football team, and this is what these are Sirianni's words, right? These are Sirianni's words. Identity is what you do well, right? Identity is what you do well, what you do consistent, and what you hang your hat on. And at this moment, this team is 2-2. That means they are playing basic ball. There's been moments where, due to Sirianni's poor judgment, poor management, I feel like we have maybe lost a couple games. I mean, going back to this game, being specific with the Bucs game, we all knew what the deal was with AJ being out, Devontae being out, Lane Johnson being out. We also know we have Saquon Barkley, and we also know we have a solid running game. The fact that we don't play to our strengths right off the bat and only give Saquon Barkley 10 carries on the day. We're talking about the first 7 drives is ridiculous. I mean, the 3 and outs were a detriment to the defense. We all knew that if we had another drive like they had the first drive, this defense was going to be cooked for the first half. But not only was it 2, but it was 3 drives, to the point where it was almost mercy at a certain point. But again, at the end of the day, when you talk about what this team is, the identity, we're talking about fundamentals. Something Nick Sirianni talks about being his fundamentals. Fundamentally, this team is flawed. We're talking about we haven't won the turnover battle in the last 4 games. We're lining up. We're getting penalties for lining up. We're special teams. I'm talking about turnovers. The turnover battle is crazy when Jalen Hurts has 54 turnovers in 60 games, 9 straight regular season games with the turnover, 27 giveaways in his last 22 games, and that's a real deal thing. And this bye as a fan couldn't come any sooner. You know how excited we are to see our Eagles, but I think this bye is coming at the perfect time. We need a little reset. We need a little break. And it's coming at the right time with players not being healthy. But I know at the end of the day, we got to see Eagle fans up close and personal. and seeing their drive and passion to be here for this, show up for this team, that was embarrassment. That was disgrace. You had a lot of Eagle fans show up there, spend a lot of money to come down there, support you guys, and at the end of the day, all they wanted to see you do is fight. It's in the fight song, "Fight Eagles, Fight." The Eagles did not fight on Sunday, and I think it was just rough scene. I mean, Prime, you were right there. I mean, how were you feeling after last weekend?
Well, I gotta be honest, man. I didn't even know if I was gonna be up for this show because I'm just so frustrated with this organization, frustrated with this team, frustrated with Nick Sirianni. I mean, bro, you said it yourself. We travel all over the place for this team to show them support, and this is what we get in return. That's the frustrating part. I mean, you mentioned how devastating that game was. I agree with you, man. It was one of the worst games that I've probably encountered. Um, it was hot as hell, and I mean that's literally to the point, like straight hell. Like you, I at one point thought I was going to pass out. Shit, I had to text my wife to let her know, like, yo, I'm not feeling right. I never felt this before, so just giving you a heads up. And man, I had to get some water on me. We were drinking mad water, pouring mad water on ourselves, and that shit was not helping at all. Um, yeah, and then you tell yourself like, is it even worth going back to this seat to watch this bullshit? Because that's what it was. It was bullshit. It was bullshit from the very get go. The way they drove down that field in that first drive was ridiculous. I mean, bro, we've been talking in and out about this defense. We look good on paper. That's the sad part. We look good on paper, but we can't show how good we actually are on that field. It's frustrating, these plays that are being called. I'm not going to go ahead and spend time pinpointing who did what. It's not even worth it, man. It's a team. It's a team game, and the team just stinks. Period. Um, everybody's been talking as of lately, like, oh, we got the mellow part of the schedule coming up. You know what? Squash all that bullshit. Because those teams that are going to be playing us in the next couple of weeks are now looking at us like that. Are now looking at us like we're going to be an easy game to go ahead and play against. That's the sad part, man. Um, Not sad. That's frustrating. That's the part that's pissing me off. Like we're the joke right now, the joke of the league. I'm tired of this up down up down. One week we're talking highly about this team. The next week we're talking a lot of shit on this team. Um, Nick Sirianni, man, I'm lost. I don't have no faith in you anymore, man. I really don't. Cause is it you? Is it Kellen? Fangio shit the bed too. Like I just don't know anymore. I don't know what the hell it is. And I'm heated, man. I'm heated. Like I'm just tired of this shit. Because I put a lot of effort. We all put a lot of effort into this squad to get this in return. I'm not beat, man. So it's just like, yeah, the boss here. Is it a restart? Are they actually going to take the initiative to restart and get back on track? I have no idea, man. You know what I mean? I'm here in the long run like I've always been, but as a fan right now, I'm just so disappointed. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. This team made me so sick that I got sick. I'm pretty sure you can tell by my voice. Like
I think we're all sick.
Yeah, right. Like we all sick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what irritates me about this whole thing is like, where's the adjustments? Where is the game planning? Like I feel like this is lazy ass coaching. Like they came out with quick throws and it killed the Eagles. And then Vic Fangio, he's understand like if you got to figure out if you're gonna do a pass coverage or off coverage. Figure out what you're gonna do. And an 18 missed tackles is crazy. Like, where's the fundamentals? We're going back, and I was the one that was saying we're not going back to last year. We're not going back to last year. It feels like the same shit. It feels like the same shit that we seen last year. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. When did the Eagles start picking up steam? When they started getting really like it was competitive. We were that team, and after that we started getting better and better and better. It was when Nick let Steichen run the offense, right? And he said, "Hey, it's all yours. I'm out." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't he do that with Nick? Why can't he do that with Kellen? Why? Let it go. It's just it ain't you. Your offensive coordinator, let him do his job. And it's just crazy. And it like man. And you know what's really irritating to me is to see that you look at the rest of the teams that don't have their star players. Football is a team sport, right, fellas? You agree with me, right? Football is a team sport. It takes 11 versus 11, right? Why is it that we have to have the star power player to be what we are? We had Jahan Dotson, right? We traded him. We were super, super excited to get him there. Not one time did we even try to single him out to get him open. It's just like, hey, line him up and let's go. You know what I mean? Like that's what irritates me the most about this. And then Saquon, bro, 10 carries for 84 yards. He was averaging almost 8 yards a carry. And then you just stopped. When is Nick Sirianni and this organization going to realize that we are a run team first? When are they going to realize that? And today they realize that, and I'm hoping that because who's our run game coordinator? Isn't it Stoutland? Stoutland's our run game coordinator, right? He's in charge of run game. Can somebody in that organization, somebody in that coaching staff get some balls and say, hey, we got to run the ball to sustain a drive and give Jalen help to get in rhythm, because he's a rhythm player. He's like a basketball player. He has to get warmed up to finish out the game and look good. This is the reason why you're not seeing the Jalen of 2022. You're seeing the Jalen of this because you're playing from behind and you're passing the ball 60 times a game. That's not his game. He's never been that guy. I'm sick, bro. Look, I'm over here drinking tea and lemon and I got my honey on me. You know what I'm saying? So can we get a sponsorship? Shout out to Limpton.
Hey, I might need some too. I might need some juice. But shout out to the people in the chat. Kevin says, I don't know, Gail. The players are accountable too. At some point, they got to make a play. They gotta be game day ready. But there's a point where I can see where it's the coaching and putting your players in a position to succeed, where you're not utilizing players to their strengths, is where I have a problem with. The fact that Fangio was talking about press situations and where his players, he's like, oh, they can play press, maybe, but it sounded like a confusion between of where they were with the scheme and the play. Like he ran press 88% of the time, and you got the guys off 10 yards deep. We have the players to play man.
Yep.
Impress. So why don't you play them impress in situations where we need to? But then again, when I'm just going to be honest and self-scout, when you look at our team and look at our weaknesses, there's, we could talk about Avante till we get our face turns blue. We know his weaknesses, and you see how teams are picking on our weaknesses. You see how we talk about Nakobe Dean, right? But did we talk about Nakobe Dean in space? They obviously seen something on tape where if they can do quick strike, dot you up on the outside, they're going to miss tackles. Chris Godwin on Avante Maddox. That is a mismatch. You take advantage. We saw Christian Watson take advantage of Avante Maddox. The league knows our weaknesses. The fact that, and again, where the hell is Devin White and what is Devin White up to and what Sirianni? I don't know. You have to fix your football team because there's things that are the social media. I'm gonna say the social media usage of this football team. I'm getting tired of it because at what point in time do we become a focused football team? And I'm not saying we, but you as the players become a focused football team. Y'all need to lock in. And again, we all understand where Saquon drop and maybe Lane Johnson and Devontae and Lane Johnson, we could have been, it could have been 3-1. It could have been, but it doesn't matter. At this point in time, it's about, in this bye week, get your team locked up, ready to go, everyone focused. We get Sidney Brown back. Maybe the team is fully healthy, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna Jalen Hurts. The league has caught up to Jalen Hurts and whatever the hell the Eagles have been running on offense. We have lost 10 of the last 13 football games. 10 of the last 13 football games we have lost. I mean, it's dating back to last year, but yeah, it carries over. It carries over. The vibe carries over. So at what point in time are we going to start figuring out what the league is starting to do to Jalen? They're throwing the kitchen sink at Jalen Hurts. I mean, look at the numbers here. It was like, trying to look at, I had it here somewhere, but it's crazy. Todd Bowles blitzed Hurts 26 times and 37 dropbacks. 26 times and 37 drop. The league is coming for Jalen Hurts, and they're sending the house, and we don't have answers.
No answers.
This is our biggest concern in the offseason, and we still don't have answers.
And I'm tired of seeing other defenses do something we want. We ain't getting none of that. No blitzing, no nothing. And then like watching that game, bro, we said it ourselves, like the adjustments that could have been made, shit, we were getting beat. So make the adjustment. Now start playing man. Start playing press. If you're gonna get beat that way, all right, we're getting beat. So try something different. But no, nothing. He stayed with the same scheme throughout that whole damn game. And then look, yeah, all right, mind you, they stopped what they ended up. What was the final score? 33-16, right? So I mean, 24-0, they scored their very first 4 drives. And then they eventually scored 9 more points after that. But damn, like I said, just make the adjustments. And we were hoping for that when they went into halftime. We're walking around, we're trying to stay positive. Dealing with that fucking heat, we're trying to stay positive. I was looking for Gail. Gail was going one way, I was going the other way. I mean, yo, we were lost. We were lost completely. As fans, as a team, we were lost. Yeah. And it was just like it was bad, man. It was bad. And all you just kept on hoping for was some type of change. And they didn't even want to give it to us, man, at all. Right. So, I mean, look, man, bye week is here. You need to make adjustments with some of these players. You guys need to be locked in. Gail, you mentioned this social media shit. I'm really tired of it my damn self. You know what I mean? Clowns being clowns. Like, for real? Come on, man. I'm fed up, man. We deserve, as fans, we deserve way better than this, man. Way better than that.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you context about the stadium, like I literally went up to the luxury booths, and I stood outside the door, and I would wait for the door to open so it would spit out AC. And I found a part in the stadium where you could see there was a cutout where I could see Jumbotron. So I could watch the game on the Jumbotron and get like 30 seconds of AC every time someone opened the door. That's how I was like, yo, I'm about to go back to the hotel because it's crazy. It is what it is. I don't think you should have 1:00 games in Tampa. Because the other thing they didn't show on TV was the amount of fans that were passed out.
The amount
with EMT services on the side, and they're putting
the aisles going up to the next floor. There were people all against the rails. Clowns that were there in our regular seats that started off the game talking shit. Oh, y'all ain't ready for this heat. Are the same clowns that were in that aisle against the rail. You obviously ain't ready for this heat either. What are you talking about? Like, for real? Then
But
I
you know
got a
what's
lady.
crazy though?
I got a lady that I went to go check on, and she was fine.
Uh,
But then she was like, "I've been living here for 14 years. I've never felt this before." I said, "Oh damn!"
Well, look
what
at
It
was
would have been
crazy
nice.
though? They
look,
said
I
it
was like, it would have been nice to get that memo earlier, man.
right, but they said it was like what 105, and then how bad was the humidity? Like,
105, bro. It felt like
61%.
it felt like it hit
golly,
118 at one point. And I know, listen, I know you deal with that. I know you deal with
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
I know you do.
right.
Big ups to you, but I mean, at least you have an opportunity to jump in and out of an AC. We didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah,
We were
but
struggling to
we
find
don't.
some type of shadow and air.
Yeah, but I don't have the humidity
The
like that.
humidity was
The hu-
wild.
That's what I'm saying. So once you get the
Was
humidity
wild.
and the heat, that it don't mix well. And I'm hoping go ahead.
No, listen. At one point, I kept on going to the bathroom. I go to every game with a towel because I
Yeah,
sweat my ass off. I went
same.
and I cleaned myself off. The minute I took the first step out of that damn bathroom, I started sweating again. I said,
yeah,
"Holy shit!"
yeah,
I'm
we
melting
literally bought one bottle
to
to
drink.
pour on you and
And
one
then one
bottle
to
to
drink.
drink. So I'm sitting here drinking and just pouring. I was like, bro,
Was
dude,
anybody even drinking alcohol?
And
Because
we were
that's
nah,
not a
not
good
really,
mix.
not really.
and we were trying so hard to let that shit last. At one point, I said, "I can't," and I dumped the whole shit on me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, they
We
shouldn't
were
have.
taking
They
little,
shouldn't
we
be
were
having
taking
1
little
o'clock
drips.
games like that, bro.
Now,
It should be night games. Like if it's that type of weather, they should have night games for Tampa.
now, Darlene chimes in, says, I live in Tampa area for almost 20 years. It was hot as hell on Sunday. So, as a Tampa native, Darlene speaks the truth. 843 says, it was very frustrating how we played. And on top of that, Slay being goofy, laughing at CJ on the Rivals podcast really pissed me. I went back and watched the podcast, just a little bit of it. I just think there's a time and place, and it's
Right.
Not now.
it's not just any of the players. It's all of the players on podcasts. Even Kelsey at times last year, I said the same thing. I was like, I really don't like our captains talking about inside stuff outside.
Right.
Like
right.
if you could do it on the all season, that'd be fine,
Right.
I guess. But like when in season stuff is happening, I need to keep inside stuff inside. And as a captain, I just want our captains to be locked in.
Do you think that to them it's more of like therapeutic to them to like let that out and be like what we go through as a NFL player? And then as us fans, we're like, yo, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I'm pretty sure everybody, I know everybody's mad about Slay and doing a podcast with Parsons. And we're rivals. You're in the same division. Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I just think again, like it's time and
pissed.
place. It's just I don't like our players just talking about stuff on podcasts when it's happening. We love Slay. We support the Slay family. We come to the tailgate. It's a lot of love. It's just a time and place. And I'll say I'm just being honest. Lenny says once Jalen learns to tuck the ball away, then run most of those turnovers would be a different result. I mean, it's when you think about it, losing the turnover battle, Packers, it was what? 3. We gave away 3 turnovers to the Packers. We got 1 takeaway. The Falcons, we gave up 1. We got 0. Saints, we gave up 2. We got 1. And against the Bucs, we gave up 2 and got 0.
This turnover battle is crazy.
So the going back to the Slay and the opposing podcast, my thing is like I didn't like it. It bothered me, man. Like it bothered me because shit. One, how I feel about Cowboys. 2, you're gonna sit there and really clown one of your teammates. Like you really got balls. Like, bro, you got burnt various times. Last week. Yes, Sunday. I mean, come on. But do you go ahead and talk about that? Because please, if you mention it, I'ma laugh because you got burnt. You did. So that's why, like, you really don't like. It's a time and a place, and right now during the season is not the time. It's not the time.
Miss Tiki chimes in. She said, "There's other teams that lost worse. Why is it end of the world? I agree that needs to be some changes, but is it that grim? I just think I think the expectations of this Eagles football team and what I say the fan base expects from this team,
Right.
the expectations are up there. So when you're losing games at this, where it's like, you shouldn't be losing some of these. Obviously, this game here, things were stacked up against us. But when you think about the way you think of our coaching staff and can they put their players in a position to win?
Yeah,
you would think they would come up with a better game plan.
Exactly.
I want. Go ahead, Tim. My bad.
No, you're good. That's basically what I was saying. Was like we're an Eagles fan base. We're very passionate about our team, and when we lose, we get pissed off. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way we are. Like, and I'm speaking from a Jersey, 2 Jersey natives right here and Delaware native. But this is what I do want to say, and I want to shed some light on this. Every year that we've been good, right? We went to the playoffs, we do our thing. There's at least one game that we get torched. And I feel like this might have been it. I feel like they might be able this might have been the medicine that they needed to lose and get torched like this. And then you have the bye week, and then you have an extra week to be able to prepare and get ready. So I want to put that in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be doom and gloom on it, but yes, I understand everybody's frustration. But like, I think the most frustration is where the hell's the offense? Because we are the first quarter, bro. We the only team in the NFL that hasn't scored a touchdown in the first quarter, bro.
Which is ridiculous.
It is. It's ridiculous.
But the amount of weapons we have, hell yeah.
Exactly. So that's the thing with me that frustrates me the most, and I don't understand it. I just don't.
Well, I just wanted to chime in on Miss Ticky's comment, but listen, Miss Ticky, you got to understand when we go out of our way to show this team the support that we show them, it is very frustrating. You are absolutely right. I'm not saying that it is the end of the world, not at all. But the expectations that we expect from these guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, is up here. Because we know they're good, we know what they're capable of doing, but they're just not doing it. That was an ass whooping. I'm not blaming no heat. I'm not blaming none of that. That was a plain ass whooping. Tim, you state that this was probably the wake up. Yo, sorry, I thought the Atlanta was the wake up, and I wasn't expecting for this to be even a more devastating wake up.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I'm not beat for too many more wake ups. For real, I'm not.
I feel with the Atlanta loss, I feel like the Atlanta loss was really, really on coaching. That was really on coaching. That was just a horrible decision to make in crunch time moments. This one was unprepared, lazy coaching, and scatterbrain. That's what this was. Unprepared. I mean, you got your teeth kicked in, and you didn't have nothing else to go nowhere. And the real things happen when you get punched in the mouth, and when we see what you're about. And the response was the Eagles are nothing to be worried about now, as everybody is seeing. But you can fix these. You can fix this. You got a bye week, so you can fix it. Hopefully. I'm not the care of the answer. I'm just saying it can be fixed.
Well, I'm about to give you some positivity here. So shout out to Rube. Rube has a stat here. He says that the last 8 times the Eagles opened the season 2-2, they not only finished with a winning record, they reached the playoffs. 3 of those 8 times. They got to the NFC Championship game, 2001, 2003, and 2008. The other years were 1989, 2000, 2010, 2018, and 2019. Last time they were 2-2 and didn't reach the playoffs was 1983. So if the stats are on our side, we're still looking at a playoff football team.
Right.
But again, we have to be realistic, just in general. If we would have talked about the Bucs game and we knew that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were not playing for the Bucs, it might be a different scenario. Like, it just is what it is. Like, obviously, I wasn't expecting a juggernaut offensive performance, but when I see moments where the scheme is not scheming, and
Scheme is not scheming. That's a
you
good
know,
one.
you just want to see dressing on this offense. It keeps it keeps looking the same tired old offense. And when I heard Vita Vea was playing, that's when I got concerned. I was like, Vita Vea's playing? I said, bro, because this Vita Vea was a menace. And we talk about menace. I mean, that's how you like to see a guy show up. And I'm gonna also go back to Jalen Carter. Like, I need more Jalen Carter. I need him to be more consistent, man. I need him to show up week in and week out. He has the talent. He has. I love his
Man,
ability, but
we
got to
need that
show up
defensive
every
line
week.
to show up. That's what we need. Defensive
You
line is
you
ass, bro.
you mentioned those stats, man, but like that bothers me because I can't I would love to be positive about it, but I'm gonna have to be the devil's advocate right here because you can't compare this to that back then because back then the foolishness that's going on now wasn't going on back then. As much as I've talked about Donovan McNabb, as much as I told you I'm not a Donovan McNabb fan, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you the one thing I could just say. He made magic with nobodies. With nobodies. So that I give him props for. And Sunday, not saying we didn't have nobodies. We had better talent than what McNabb had then. Well, what McNabb had then with Trash, Pinkston, and all that, we got better talent now, and we can't even get it done. So that's the frustrating part. We were in a better position this time frame than we were that time frame, and look what Donovan was able to do. Why can't we do that? It's supposed to be about the next man up mentality, and we didn't have that at all on Sunday. At all. We saw one pass to Dotson. One pass. And if I'm correct, was that his first pass as an Eagle? His first catch as an Eagle? No.
Okay. He stepped up in the New Orleans game. He had a couple of catches, but
okay.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like,
that's the frustrating part, man. Like the foolishness that's going on in today with this teams and these players wasn't going on with those guys back in 01, 03. Those guys were locked in. Those guys were hungry, and you would want that from these guys today, and we're just not getting that. We're not getting that at all.
And to even put context to it, McNabb had a defense and had a better coaching. So, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I want to get hands in the room. Have y'all lost confidence in Nick Sirianni? Because I'm there, bro.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's just any football team that I've ever played on, like in high school, college. It always, the team's identity, I feel like, comes from the head coach. It starts from the top and it goes down. So if you're fundamentally not sound, it comes from the coaching. It comes to being what you're taught. It comes to being even just he was on the radio today talking about they had questioned him about some of his team's uses on social media.
Yeah,
and the way that he addressed it, I was like, bro, you did not. He just kind of like, this is just a point. There's a time and place, man. Like, as a head coach, you got to set the tone, and I think you want that. And I saw Mark Bird's comment, Belichick online one. As great as that sounds, I mean, just in theory, great as that sounds, getting a new coach mid-season. Anytime you get a mid-season coach, everything that's been installed, the culture, everything, it's been instilled, right? So if they get rid of Sirianni, which I don't think is going to happen, I think they just need to right the ship. I didn't like the comment with Jalen after the presser when he was talking about. Let me find that comment real quick. But it didn't rub me the right way. He said, the question was, Jalen, you and Nick are obviously big voices on the team as the QB and the coach. As you enter the bye and you want to find an identity, do you two talk about maybe what you want the message to be to the team or how you want to handle things as you go into the second part of the year? We have our moments. And I was like, it's just not the right. I always pick up on small things. It's just little things. If the vibe is off, if your head coach is chewing on gum in the presser, I'm like, yo, where's the professionalism at? Come on, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught it, but there was a timeout. I think it was against the New Orleans game. I went back and watched it because when you're at the game, you don't really see everything. It's just you're in the presence, you're feeling the vibes, you're entertained. There was a part where Nick was covering his mouth talking to Jalen, and Jalen was like listening, gave his feedback, and kind of had like an attitude with about it, like just you know what I mean. And the body language wasn't supposed to be what it was reading about, right? Like it just wasn't there. And we have our moments, man. That's disheartening. That's disheartening because a head coach and a quarterback are supposed to be connected hand to hand. Like it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine, but
you wonder if you're like, all right, fans reading too much into this. It was just a comment. It's just
I don't know.
It goes back to the comments last year. It seems like something's off. And again, we follow this team year in, year out. Shout out to Carlos. He says, "Sup, guys? Nice meeting you all, Nolan. Nice meeting you, Carlos. Always great to meet people on the road. We met so many great people on the road. We ran into a former NHL Philadelphia Flyer. Shout out to Joe. Big fan of him. A great time meeting him. We met a lot of people who support the brand on the road. I always love hearing people just appreciate what we're doing here and the vibes. Shout out to Philly Sports Chips. We're at their tailgate. Had a great time down at the tailgate. We're hanging out with Lito Shepherd. Lito Shepherd. Shout out to Hollis as well. But if you're looking to book a trip, go to phillysportstrips.com. Make sure to follow them at Sports Trips PHL for more information. And go Birds. Obviously we got a couple of trips coming up. We're knocking them out the box. We had the Birds take over New Orleans, Tampa Bay. Now the next one, Birds take over in New York. Saquon has a homecoming. The next away trip that will be interesting was the Birds take over in Cincinnati, who was a 1-3 football team. And then we have the Birds take over in Dallas, and that is November 8th through 11th, with Jeremiah Trotter attending. The Birds take over in Los Angeles with LaShawn Jackson and I said LaShawn Jackson. LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson.
Blended into two, blended into one.
And then the Birds take over in Baltimore, and then ending in December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas, is the Birds take over in Washington. So if you're looking to book a trip, go to phillysportstrips.com. One big bummer about the trip and missing our flights and all that. We missed out on the hanging out with Brian Dawkins. They did the event in Orlando, and due to our flights being canceled, we missed it.
Man,
that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, besides the shitty ass game, we made the best of the trip. We met some great people. The day we were boarding, the day we got canceled, the very next day, people recognizing us because we were on TV the day before. And then, the amount of love we were getting at the airport. And then, the fans that we ended up meeting in Tampa Bay, some real cool people. And even like some Tampa Bay fans were actually pretty cool and stuff like that. But it was a great time all around. Yeah.
I was about to ask you, did y'all take anything like great from the trip besides that?
You take any what?
Did you experience anything great on the trip besides all the hustle and bustle that you
We really didn't have the time to do all that. I mean, shout out to Pierre.
Shout out to Pierre
and his wife, and her cousin. They showed us a great time. We ended up meeting up with them. Me and Gail had dinner in St. Petersburg, and then they caught up with us, and then they showed us the ropes. They took us to this one nice area
Nice.
that kind of reminded us of our younger days on South Street.
Hey.
The good old days. It was a wraparound. It was a wraparound, and I mean, like every spot we went to was popping. It was popping.
Man, that's definitely.
And then we bumped into shout out to Conrad. You'll see him in the comments. But we're at the tailgates. Conrad was down there. His brother lives down there in Tampa, and it was rambling because we were texting like we were trying to link up. I look across the bar, and there's Conrad.
And he's right there. And he's right
chilling there at all the places.
That's what's up.
So, other than that,
so I see somebody's asking about Ybor City. So Ybor City was mentioned to us, but we never got around. At the same time, we weren't really sure what the conditions of Ybor City. Some people were saying that it was hurting. Some people were saying that it was okay. We didn't even take the time to really go find out. We just pretty much chilled in that area that we were at. Again, great time, great music. It was a blast, man. So big ups to them for showing us love that day.
Now we have oh man. We had Chase in the comments. He says, I know it's a tough scene, guys. Very hard to watch that week in, week out. How haven't we scored in the first quarter at all this year? Going back to last year, we've been having a very slow start. That's the biggest problem with this offense. There's so many weapons there. For you to start slow, for me, it goes back to scheme. It goes how you're utilizing. But again, just how the league is sending the house.
Right.
Like we haven't had like the great quarterbacks will dare you to blitz. Am I right or wrong?
You are correct, sir.
They dare you to blitz.
It's frustrating watching it live, bro, because you see the blitz that was coming, and then you see the checks down. He had more than enough opportunity to dump that ball off to people that were like literally right there in his vision, right in the front. But he's worrying about making big ass plays, knowing the house is coming to him. Why? I don't know. That is so
playing hero ball,
bro. It is, man. I was heated watching that shit every time. You knew it was coming. Right. So Fangio's up there watching this shit. I mean, or Kellen Moore seeing it. These guys are seeing it. Nobody's speaking to him. Nobody, no adjustments are being made. No nothing. It's coming. But why are you worrying about trying to hit a 40-yarder or whatever? And not worrying about the checkdowns. The checkdowns were there. And he wasn't hitting them.
And this goes to show, like, you're going to have that conversation as Jalen Hurts. Is he going to be the quarterback? It goes, you have that conversation, like, because what we're seeing is – go ahead.
I hate to keep bringing this up, but a fan we ran into at the airport last night brought it up. And Gail knows that's what I keep on saying it, bro. I keep on saying that contract came. The Jalen Hurts we know went. I'm sorry.
No, my thing is just the league will catch up with you, man. The league will catch up with your tendencies. Obviously, you can scheme things up. You can have players that can beat one-on-one matchups, and it's usually you're just dominating on pure talent. But like at a certain point, you want to scheme things open. And it's just like, just make it easier. Remember when we had Steichen, and instead of worrying about Micah Parsons blitzing off the edge and doing what they would just leave him unblocked and go off of his aggressiveness.
And attack him.
Creative play calling. Like do that.
But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing that we're asking for and we're not getting because Nick doesn't want to let go of the offense. When Steichen took over, Nick said, "I'm good, cool, go ahead." He let it go. This is still Nick's offense. Look at all the pre-snap motion. We're ranked 19th. From Kellen Moore with the Chargers, he was ranked 4th. Look at week 1 to week 3, week 2, week 4. Look at all those plays, bro. Look at all the movement. What is going on? He's basically telling, "Hey, this is my scripted plays. This is what we're going to do." Instead of saying, "Hey, Kellen, I'm gonna let it go." When he lets it go, I bet you this team will flourish, bro. Look at. And I hate to even bring this up. Look at Brian Johnson. Look at the Commanders. Look at the Commanders. Commanders put a 42 on Gannon. This is what we talking about. Nick sits there and tells these players, "Let your ego go out when you hit the door." But it's him. He's not letting his ego go when he hits that door.
I just really, because you will never know if it's Sirianni. I mean, it looks like Sirianni, but I'm saying you would never know until he's out of here. But I'm saying he's not going to be out of here. But you're just like, people are saying like, "Oh, the bad plays are Sirianni, the good plays are Kellen." I'm just saying some of the non-creative plays and the bad game management, that feels like Sirianni.
But what makes it even crazier is you're sitting there and you're like, you see these guys line up and you're like, you already know what play is coming.
Yes.
I already know what play is about to happen. There's no excitement coming out of me because why? Because I know it's about to be a shitty ass play. That dump off to the side is, I hate that fucking play with a passion. And he fucking runs it every goddamn time. The wrong time of the game. The wrong time of the game. He wants to run that play. I'm tired of that play.
He needs to let
that fucking play off the playbook, man. Like somebody take a Sharpie and cross that bitch out. It's done. It is done, man. And you want to run that same shit all the time.
There's no
excitement. They don't give me no excitement, man.
Right. I feel you. I do have a question, Gail. Do you think that this offense is limited to what Jalen can do?
I'm trying to figure it out. Like if they're playing to, we talk about playing to his strengths. If he's in there saying like, this is what I want to run and this is what I'm comfortable with running, we don't know that. But I'm like the whole under center Jalen that we were expecting a little bit of, some different looks.
Yeah.
With Saquon, they still that damn same inside zone run out of shotgun. I mean, some of those runs Saquon is pulling off on his own accord, but
yes,
I still feel like Saquon could be used in different formations where it would be more exciting.
You know what irritates me?
But thinking about the way that the game was played, and we knew that it was hot as hell. If you had your defense out there any longer last week, it was time to run the rock and eat up the clock. The time of possession, are you kidding me? Remember halfway through the game, in the first quarter, we had like 0 yards. They had like 255, 254 yards, total yards offense. We had 0.
We had 0 rushing yards, -3 passing yards, compared at one point to their
16 first downs. We had 0.
It was like a high school team playing NFL team, bro.
Jalen hurt the defense himself, man. These 3 and outs was killing those guys.
Yeah.
Those 3 and outs, you were putting them right back on the field.
Yeah.
I see a lot of comments about the Devin White thing. I just really want to. You have to, like, as an organization, he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Because he was playing in Tampa. We were playing in Tampa. What is if he's healthy, he can't contribute anywhere else on this team?
I don't get the whole thing. You got $3.5 million sitting on the bench in street clothes? That's wild to me.
I mean, you got to address
and you're
it.
telling me you can't sub Dean out and like have fresh legs? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yes,
and let's be
yesterday,
honest, bro.
With that heat, that was the time for the substitution to come and play a factor.
Right.
With that heat, and they didn't utilize it. They killed those boys, man. They killed those boys. They kept everybody out there. I didn't see no substitution really going on, and a lot of these guys were getting beat. Vontae Maddox, oh my god, man! Like, yo, he can't tackle for shit.
But my thing is, Vontae Maddox is not going to tackle Chris Godwin in space. He's just not.
No.
But again, this goes back to.
I gotta ask the question: if you're going to go at the receiver to make a tackle, are you going to go try to wrap him? You're going to try to lead with your shoulder?
Oh, I'm going to go for his legs. I'm not going with my shoulder.
But how?
But I'm just saying. My point is, with Vontae Maddox is, I think we turned the corner on where you have to see what you have in the youth. You have to see what you have in Isaiah Rodgers.
It's Coop's turn.
So I mean, they made mention that he might be ready to, because if you go back to every single game, you're starting to see teams pick on us at the same spot, and that is it. Right. You know how much we love Tay, but depth player, yes. When his run grade and his coverage grade is super poor at this moment. Wealthy Mind says, I have a huge problem with what Jalen said about his communication with Sirianni. We have our moments. I don't care if Nick is the head coach. You're the one that's getting paid $250. I just feel like that communication process has to be better. And again, we don't see that from behind the scenes. Could it be different? I don't know. But the optics of it, and that's just reading into things, I don't know. It just seems off.
Can we talk about the Isaiah Rodgers comment? Like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, on the punt return?
I think he was just trying to do a vet move and it backfired.
I mean, vets have
the explanation. Him explaining why he did that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I ain't gonna lie. I used to do that all the time.
No, I mean, I used to
push them. Yeah,
they do that. They do that. But I'm saying just the way he said it. But I'm just saying the way that the coaches were explaining after. He's like, "Were you coached to do that?" He's like, "It's one of those savvy vet moves you push." But I'm saying you caused the turnover, like, and then Keely Ringo barely tries to knock out.
Yeah, what was that?
And again, if you don't think that not having Britton Covey back there,
oh yes,
makes a difference.
And I'll put it on this though, Coop. He has to communicate. Get out the way. You have to communicate.
Yeah,
this is what
communicate.
But this is what Covey brings.
Returner, I'm sorry. Like
the Jean's face on TV was like, "What the fuck did I do to you?"
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what people are like. Oh, what does Britton Covey do? He doesn't turn the ball over on special teams. He would have called a fair catch earlier.
He is already missed.
Yeah. So all you people out there hating.
Oh yeah, he's already missed.
No, I ain't hating. I was just saying that he's gonna be missed. He's like, it's the little things that you can do to contribute to a team. It makes a big impact. You know what I'm saying? Like a person knowing your birthday, a person knowing you, like what's going on, like the little things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like that means something. It's like, oh, okay, we got this. Like for instance, if like I know we're all together, I already know Primo's got my back no matter what. I can act like a jackass. Primo's gonna throw somebody over his shoulder, and Gail's gonna calm the situation down. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. But you gotta communicate, B. Like,
Darlene, I totally agree with you. I see Baker, and I can't stand Baker Mayfield, but he ripped us apart. You got to give credit where credit is due. He ripped us apart. He ripped us
Bro,
all a new ass.
he
Like
looked like Tom Brady out there.
it was crazy. But
Wait, he got sacked 7 times last week. What do you think? What do you think his coaches did for him this week? They went to the quick pass.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Exactly.
I was like, they killed us with the quick pass.
Why can't we? He's right. Why can't we get that from Jalen?
That's what I'm trying to explain. It's like, why can't we do that? They were scheming. Look at all Chris Godwin's passes and Shepard, the ex-Giant. They put them in motion. It was killing us the entire time. I'm like, bro, why can't Jahan Dotson do that? Why are we not doing that with Jahan Dotson? Dude, like my man can move. We did not do not one time, bro. We kept on moving Dallas Goedert. And it's like, and this is another thing that we can actually talk about. I think Jalen relies on Dallas and Saquon, and he doesn't really trust those guys because they're all new. They haven't had that much time. But you're going to have to play with the product that's on the field. You don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. For the quick passes, bro. It's lazy coaching, bro. It's lazy coaching. I don't care what nobody says.
My dad says, imagine Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor doing a podcast together.
I'll be watching that, but
I mean, Belichick. Anthony says Belichick will kill all that podcast. He's actually doing podcasts now himself.
He's loving the podcast life.
Did you see he ripped us up? Did you know that?
Oh yeah, he did.
He ripped us up.
I'm uninspired, man. Uninspired football. And again, when you got Merrill Reese excited for the bye, Merrill Reese is a happy-go-lucky dude. But he's looking forward to the bye. I'm looking forward to the bye. I knew when the bye came, I was gonna need it after all this traveling, but to be honest, I'm so happy we're not playing next week. I am so happy that the fact that I could just sit here and not stress out. Like even our wins have been stressful. Like imagine going to Brazil and be like catching an L. Like that game didn't have to be stressful. Right. But when you turn the ball over 3 times, she gets stressful. I mean the Saints game
was fun though.
Stressful.
It was definitely, but it was fun.
Didn't have to be stressful.
We should have beat New Orleans like 24-12. That's what it should have been. The score should have been like 24. Like, you know what I mean? And if you look at this, we should be 3-1. We should be 3-1. But we drop a game, we get blown out by 1. I just think you're gonna have to take a look in the mirror and realize what you are. But this is supposed to be a run first offense. I don't care what nobody says, man. We have the talent and to run the ball. We have the offensive line to run the ball. We're paying a running back. He's getting like $40 million. He should be running. He should be getting touching the ball.
I mean, Saquon has been like a gem.
Heaven sent.
A gem. That's a luxury. It's a luxury item when you have Saquon. Good. It's just a matter of like, when Sirianni was explaining why, the run attempts, I'm like, he should have got the ball on first down every time. I don't care if they knew it was coming. Right. I would have rather had 3 first with Saquon. Give some short yards. When you get 3rd and 10 or 2nd and 10.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. But do you feel like it's more Nick Sirianni and whoever, we can say who's calling the plays, but I honestly think it's Nick. They get impatient.
They just can't. My thing is, you can never go broke taking profit plays, and there's profit plays to be had. There's like you saw us use the mesh to get. How can we sell no crossing routes? Did we hit? Do we hit 1 crossing route?
We did hit 1.
You tell me.
We did hit 1, but Dallas Goedert dropped the ball.
Man, that play. Like there was plays that one hurt. That one definitely hurt. Daz, this one they have this one at the lids. Shout out to Shoulder Pad Sean. He sold me this hat. Matches the hoodie for Mitchell Ness. But you can get it at Liz right now in Philly. Now Anthony says it's our culture right now. Something is off.
I just wish we'd call it screen pass or something. Oh, damn. Can we get a screen?
Now let's get some positivity here. You know, obviously, if you been listening to our team, you turn these L's into learning lessons. You start learning from these losses. If there's a positive from last week's game, I'd have to go to my son, Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell is playing inspiring football. But the fact that on a couple plays, Mike Evans got the best of him, but there was a couple plays where Quinyon held his ground against an all-time Mike Evans. No one excited about that?
Nah, that's your son. You're the only one that's excited about it. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, bro. You asked the question. I'm telling you.
We're talking about positivity. You don't think that was positive play?
Man, okay. One play.
Quinyon Mitchell on Mike Evans.
The awkward
There's
silence
two plays.
is hilarious.
Like 2 plays out of
1-on-1 in the end zone.
2 plays out of an hour and something game. 2 plays. Okay.
What else positive can we say about that last week? Saquon.
That's it.
Yeah, Saquon.
Calcaterra.
I'm always
Calcaterra had a
positive
good
on
game.
Saquon, but we don't use Saquon. They don't use Saquon. They don't give Saquon the ball enough.
I thought Quinyon played well for a rookie. But what I'm trying to say is, if your rookies out here playing like this, and you got veterans on this team not stepping up, your rookie is playing like this.
Mm-hmm.
I need that from veterans. Like the fact that you have some, we got one, you got. Is he a? He's not a veteran.
I could go the rest of the season without even mentioning that name.
Yeah, but
it's a joke.
To me, I don't even think he's being used right anyway.
Well, I know somebody was mentioning how they got him on the 4.4.
Yeah. I mean, Baldwin was using that. Like, if you got players here, first of all, if you didn't like Devin White, Fangio, then why did they bring him?
Right.
If you didn't like Bryce Huff and he wasn't the right type of player, Howie, why did you bring him in? So I have questions there. Like, you brought in Devin White and Huff.
Yeah.
Did Fangio say? Did he write off on it and say, "Yeah, those are my guys. Get them"?
I will say this as positive is the rookies have been outplaying the veterans. They've been standing out. I will say that, but that's cheek.
Now Mickey says the Buccaneers players wasn't complaining about the heat, only the Eagles play because they're used to that heat.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw Tampa Bay playing up north in the cold, they used to have problems playing up in the cold. Except for that.
I think we're going to see him again, though. We're going to see him again. In Philly. I hope so. I hope we see them again in Philly. I hope so. You're not believing it. And you're supposed to be Mr. Positive. You're not believing it at all.
What do you say, Tim?
I said, you're supposed to be Mr. Positive, and I said we're going to see them again. We'll see them in Philly. And you're like,
well, you better fix that home record because
that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to fix it. They fix it.
Now, Dale said,
Mr. Positive, though.
Bro, nothing's positive. Dale said that heat ain't no joke. Been living down here for 7 years, and I'm still not used to it. I work outside. It sucks. See, Dale?
God bless, man.
Another hot game that I've attended, Todd attended the same game. The hottest game I ever been to was a couple years ago when Fitzpatrick and D-Jack slid us up.
Yeah.
I was literally 2 sections over than where I was in 106. So, newsflash: I'm never going to Tampa for a football game. My streak is ended. Yeah, that's Mr. Tan Tebow says I live down here in Tampa. That's the reason I watch at home. Can't be outside until October at 1 p.m. Okay. Any other? No one else had any positivity from that last game. Anything that you need to highlight? No other players.
Nah, bro. I mean, you pretty much pinpointed the 2 players that did their thing, and that was Barkley and Mitchell on the defense side. Like, I really don't. Help me out because I don't see.
Cal Katera had a nice little catch through the seam. That was a nice play.
Trying to think of what else was more positive. Yeah. Was it more humid in Brazil or Tampa? It was 10 times. It was 11 times worse in Tampa. Now New Orleans, hot as balls. AC dome.
I was hot in there. It was stuck like sardines in that.
Now Rack Shack says with his chest, Eagles players should not be podcasting at all during the season.
Is that because we are I agree, but is that because we are kind of like old? We don't want to see that. This
old
new
heads?
generation, yeah, we're old heads. Like yelling on your lawn.
You listen to that boom bap rap.
Look at Primo's face. Look at Primo's like, I don't care.
Would you be? Because I saw Shady and other former players just saying that Shady wasn't about that, like
James Jones said he didn't like that,
or the whole switching jerseys at the end of the game, smiling. I don't know. Like after a game that I would lose, I don't want to say hi to anyone.
What's our Tim?
Yeah.
Tim. What's your reaction when we lose a game, Tim?
I'm the worst. Do not.
The fucking worst.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst, bro. I'm the worst. You do not want to be around me.
Tim, I was you on Sunday.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Don't be around me when we lose.
Nothing.
I'm the worst. I'm a poor sportsmanship. I'm be honest with you.
People wanted to go out after the game. I was like, nah, I'm going home. I'm sleeping. We slept in our hotel we speed
hours. Walk. We speed walk to that damn vehicle, bro.
I'm pretty sure you were happy to be inside AC.
What? Yo, True. Listen. Let me rewind it real quick.
Yeah, tell me the story.
We were walking to the truck, and 1 minute me and Gail are side by side, and then the next minute I lose Gail. I'm standing at the truck thinking that this man is going to go ahead and hit the button so I can get inside this truck, and I can't find this man. He's still around the goddamn corner. I wanted to throw something at him so bad.
Was he over there talking to people? That was Gail.
Shout out to Jay's boy Sullivan. We're trying to link up with people. We ended up running into on the way back. I ran into him on the street. Finally linked up with him. But yeah. So Brandon asked, anywheres if Nick is on the hot seat, what are your thoughts on Jalen saying we have our moments regarding Nick? Nick answered that question on WIP this morning. They asked him point blank about his job. He's like, no, that's nothing I think about. He's not. I mean, I don't think he's losing his job this year. He'd have to really do some terrible things moving forward. But yeah, we talked about that previously about him saying the moments thing. I just didn't like that. I didn't like that answer. Like you could easily just nip it in the bud and say, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about. You take a positive approach, so people like us don't have to question what the hell's going on. But media is going to be. I don't see us as media, but I just feel like you could have dodged that drama. Now people are like, because everyone's asking me about it. Hey, did you see You see Jalen say we have our moments. I'm getting texts. Like that's how crazy Eagle fans are. You can just nip it in the bud and just answer the question.
Right.
Let's see. I was gonna say there's no offensive MVP. There's no defensive MVP. I just give those to Mike Evans, and I'll give that to Baker Mayfield. Hats off to y'all because y'all won that game. You did your thing. You guys had millions of you had guys that were injured too, and you played well. There was no excuses. Your fans showed up. I have to say that Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, your shit talking is elite. Ever since I've been there, I've had nothing to say. But Dylan is positive. He says lots of time now to turn the season before it's too late. It's always go Birds. Which is we're there with you.
Yes, we
We're
are.
there with you. You gotta. I mean, you got. Let's just be real for a second. The team is not healthy. They're getting there. We're getting guys back. You gotta look forward. It's not like if you start thinking about this game into the next couple games, that's where you lost. Got to move into the next couple games or next couple opponents, which is real talk. A lot of 1-3 football teams. I know Prime. You said you don't want this team to be looking forward. The Eagles face the 1-3 Browns next at the link in 2 weeks. The 1-3 Giants at MetLife. The 1-3 Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium, and the 0-4 Jags at the link. 4 teams that are combined 3-13. Now, I'm not going to say last time when you started to look past opponents, this team lost L's in that stretch to teams like the Giants. But what is your realistic record after facing the next 4 opponents?
I mean, it's hard, bro. Any given Sunday, you can't go sleeping on, any of these teams right here. This is the NFL. These guys could come in, playing their asses off in any week. So, but to give an answer, I'm seeing 62, but I'm not going to go ahead and say this is going to be easy. Are we gonna beat ourselves? There's a possibility. That's just the thing, and it all lays down on how the coaching is going to go ahead and go into these games on both sides of the ball. So, but we'll see how it goes. But 6-2 is it's how I see we're going to end up after these 4 weeks. We need it. We need to be there no matter what.
Good perk. Says, can you fix heart? Ooh. Tim, what is your record after the next 4 weeks?
You know what, man? I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I think we're gonna end up being 2-2 again. We're gonna end up being 4-4. I just don't see. I don't see no change with this team. And that was my hot take, or my get off my chest moment was I'm no longer going to give players props after the games because the next game they play, they let me down. So I'm not doing that no more.
He's like, I ain't saying nothing good about you.
I'm not saying that. I'm just gonna. I think scheme wise, man, things need to change, and the coaching needs to be more on detail and needs to be show a little bit more of how would you say a heart, urgency. I'd say urgency, and I don't see that with this coaching staff. And the coaching staff has to relate that to the players, and the players have to fill that back. You know what I mean? They got to play for each other. And last week, I just didn't see that. Mm-hmm. So until they start showing me something in a consistent place from week 6 to 8, then I'll be able to put my thumb and my thumb on the pulse of what this team is about. But right now, I don't know. It's probably going to end up being 2-2. Every game's a struggle. Yeah,
it's. I'm gonna
4-4. I'm sorry, 4-4.
Oh Lord! I'm gonna go 6-2. Speak some positivity into it.
Call me Debbie Downer. Go ahead.
And Michael says, "How do you feel about the Slay drama immediately after the game, boys?" We mentioned it. Time and place, man. Time and place. It's just time and place. I really just I need the team to focus, especially from the top, the leaders, on to the bottom. You know, we had Brandon Graham out there on the radio earlier speaking. Shout out to Brandon. He's always been that consistent force. But Dale says, hopefully they get the rough games out early this year and learn. They definitely had their opportunities on Sunday and shot themselves in the foot. Missing key players definitely showed. Go Birds. I mean, that is the right frame of mind to feel like to look at it in a positive perspective. Obviously when you catch L's, you start looking at every little thing that annoys the shit out of you in that game and dissect it. But I do go back to, if they had Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, it would have helped. But that doesn't help you in the now, when you really do have to. Someone has to show up. That's why we talked all off season about wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 and 5. When regular fans were laughing at us for like, well, why are you worried about wide receiver 3 and 4 and 5? Well, this is why.
Yep.
This is why. I was like, you should draft a wide receiver higher. When Tim, at the Senior Bowl, how many times I was like, you can't wait until day 3 to get a wide receiver. Go get one earlier.
Right.
So it's just, that's what we've been talking about.
Speaking of the new wide receiver, Wilson got another concussion, so that's something to be a little bit concerned.
He did?
Got another. Yeah, he was out the rest of the game. He didn't play. Got a concussion.
It's 2 this year.
2, exactly.
Sportskin says, bro, all the bragging about Vic's experience, and today at his presser, he admitted Baker was throwing quick and they didn't press, but he never adjusted it. No excuses. That was the first time I side-eyed Vic. Because I was like, how is the communication not there on when you can press and when you can't?
Yeah.
It just was a weird answer.
Primo, did you catch the presser when Nick said that him and Vic went over every situation that would happen? Did you catch that part?
Nah, I didn't.
All right, what do you think of that?
You asking Gail?
No, I'm asking you. Like, what do you think about Nick and Vic? Oh yeah, so this is what happened on this part, and this is what happened on this part. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what comes to mind with you?
I don't know, man, because it just doesn't seem like these two are on the same page. It doesn't seem like he's on the same page with any of his coordinators. That's the crazy part, man. Like, he's just not in his thing.
I'm like, if you're the vibes coordinator, this is my title of Nick's here, and the vibes are off, then you as the vibes coordinator are not doing your job.
Nah.
Bingo.
Nah.
The vibes are off. So you have to always directly look at the head coach. Just like you have to look at the call. If the offense is not offensing, the quarterback will always get a brunt of the blame. Yeah. Shout out to all the people in the comments. There's been so many comments. It's hard to get to every single comment. But we appreciate you guys sticking in, man. And I love the fact that you guys are still out here wanting to talk about the Birds. We know we do this as 24/7 because there's a level of, but the Prime, can you agree with me? The level of crazy Eagle fans that we met on the road?
Yeah.
The level is there. There's a lot of crazy people like us.
A lot.
I think you two are right there with them. You sacrificed your life.
Not to
the
quote,
hurricane and all, son, with the different airports and taking a bus. Like I hats off to you guys. Hats off to you.
Not to quote the guy below me, but he said, "There's no category that's going to keep us away from our Birds."
Yep.
Shout Shout out to CBS Philly for having us on the news. Appreciate you guys, man. It's yeah, I mean, it's me going to the airport is always annoying. The fact that we spent like 12 hours in the airport yesterday.
Yeah, man. That shit
What?
was wild. That shit was wild.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you. Did y'all sleep in the airport?
Nah, it felt like it, man.
Bro, 12 hours in the airport. We had it. We had a flight to Tampa, but after that got canceled, it was like we were in Charlotte twice in 2 days. In 3 days, we're in Charlotte. We were in Charlotte on Saturday.
Okay.
We were in Charlotte on the way back.
Damn. So that was like, and it's quick
that was an
turnaround.
experience. That was an experience.
Now, Julie mentions that Sirianni talks in circles.
Yeah.
Message stale.
Yeah.
So, I mean, say it with your chest. If you got if there was one thing that you had to say to Sirianni, Tim, here's your stage.
Let go of the playbook. Let go of it.
Let me go. Because that's the same thing I'm gonna say. Let it go, or I'm gonna let you go. Let it go, or I'm gonna let you go. That's what either Howie or Jeff need to go in there and say. Let it the fuck go, or I'm gonna let you go. That's it.
And this is the thing though, like you need to let it go because they interviewed him to be the head coach. They interviewed Kellen to be the head coach. So let it go. Let it go. Like let it go for like 2 games and see how you can be able to give some feedback. But let him, like he's here to make this organization better. He's not here to hurt it. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let it, like the song Frozen, like my daughter says all the time. Let it go. Shit.
If I had a box, what do you say? Soapbox. And I stood on. I look at Sirianni and say, let it go. No, I would tell. I'm like. I would say, Sirianni, like, I would say, get your shit together. Get your team together. I would have a team meeting with the leaders, the leadership council. Every football team has a leadership council, and I would talk to them about what's bothering you, what's bothering us. Let's come together and make some points and fix it, and fix what needs to be fixed. But at this point in time, like, if it feels like him, and again, bro, we support the team, man. We support what they're doing. Nick Sirianni is a nice guy. We've met him multiple times. He's got a job to do. Philadelphia is not the easiest city for you to do that in if you're not doing your job. I just feel like it's a tough scene out here. David Pop says we should have always kept Andy Reid. Uncle Andy.
We're way past that, man.
Yeah, we're past that though.
Yeah, we're way past that.
We got a ring before Andy Reid got a ring too.
Yeah,
so
oh man,
gotta let that one go too. Let it.
Now Roosevelt says, "Can't wait to look up with the guys in the Los Angeles Rams." Is that we play with the Chargers? No,
we play the Rams.
Play the Rams, B.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I need to work on my stuff to get that done.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I could not go on. I don't need to be traveling anymore. I think I'm good for a couple weeks. Maybe like
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you because you went through a lot this past weekend, so I get it.
Julie says, "Love seeing you guys all over the news. When you're heading to the game?" Yeah, man, it's just a fun time, man. It's great meeting a lot of you guys out there over the weekend. Really, really great people. Really great energy, man. Prime. We were gone when we were talking about it. We met Joe, the legendary
Joe Watts. So
Flyers. He said he's going to invite us to a Flyers game.
Yep.
I don't do hockey, but when it's with Joe Watson, I do that hockey.
Dude, hockey games are fun.
Yeah, he was one of the members of the Broad Street Bullies. Cool dude, very, very, very nice gentleman. And shout out to his wife as well, who is good friends with Brian Dawkins' manager. So
super dope.
That was cool.
David says, how about you guys rank at who's this will be interesting. How about you guys rank who's at fault the most for the last year of Philly football? Rank 1 from 4. Sirianni 1, can we agree?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen 2.
You gotta have to go QB, right?
Yeah.
3, defense. Confusion.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
4, culture.
Shoot, culture needs to be 3 then.
Yeah, culture was off, bro.
Yeah, culture was super off.
Bro, I am so behind on these comments. But
yeah.
I wish I could get to all of them.
We ain't gonna be able to.
Yeah. But big shout out to Evan Hollywood Hearn. Hopefully he's doing well. I know if you haven't got an opportunity to put his birthday in your calendar, it's coming up right around the corner. October 3rd, right?
Yeah,
4th.
It is.
It's the 4th?
Oh, I thought it was the 4th.
I thought he said the 3rd.
I thought he said the 3rd.
Okay. Well, you know better than me.
Well, you said 4th.
No, I thought.
Where'd you get that from?
Internet? Maybe 4th from Jawn.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that from? Nick
I thought
Sirianni?
Yo, stop. Let it go. That's gonna be my name. That's gonna be my new memo right now. Let it go.
Yeah, man. It's just we're gonna get a say it with your chest moment. I need to say it with your chest take before we get out of here. Sorry, with you, Tim.
Yeah. I already said my first one. My second one will be nourish your body, guys. Nourish it. Appreciate it. Because, man, I'm sick. And the Eagles make me sick. I'm tired of this shit.
You said nourish your body.
Nourish your body. Say it with your chest moment.
Brian, what you got?
Man, listen. Take these 2 fucking weeks and get y'all shit together. Hit the restart button. Hit it like 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, when that button gets stuck, I feel like we're stuck right now. So get it loosened up, get it unstuck, do whatever the fuck y'all gotta do. I'm tired. I'm not beat for anymore. We got a long season ahead of us, and I'm not trying to go down that road. You know what I mean? I signed up this season to be on the with the excitement, and you guys are killing my vibe. You know what I mean? I'm one of the biggest shit talkers when we go on these trips, and you're killing my shit talking card. Like, you're ripping it up.
You sure
You
is.
are fucking ripping it up, and I'm tired of it, man. I had a great time in New Orleans last week, running my mouth, and y'all didn't give me no opportunity to go ahead and run my mouth this week. I'm not beat. Get y'all shit together, wake the fuck up, and let's go, man. All right? 2 weeks. 2 goddamn weeks. You have enough time to get y'all shit together. Let's do it. Let's get back on track. We need it.
Say with chest moment. Han says we're way too predictable. Team must get excited when they play against us. Julie says there's no creativity at all. Maybe that's not a say with your chest take, but a take from like a half hour ago. But I'm gonna say with your chest take. Players make plays. Big time players make plays. You can see in every single game where a player steps up, whether it be a read blank shit. And there's no levels to players who step up, but those players who step up in big time moments, like a Saquon Barkley, like a Quinyon Mitchell, who's been balling out for a rookie. The next man on this team has to find inspiration in seeing the other players flourish, and it can be contagious. But again, I'd like to see some players run through a wall for their coaches. And now if they're not going to run through the wall for the coaches, then it's got to be the next man. It has to be the next man. So I feel like if that's what it has to be, that has to be. Josh Dickens says definitely need to play tighter coverage on defense.
So,
We've been asking.
as Eagles fans, we never get what we want.
But it is what it is. Before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to Bud Light for holding us down all these years at the tailgate. Shout out for all the studs and the good times. Shout out to Red Bull for giving the tailgate wings. Make sure you also check out Contra Hawk and Italian Bakery. Their tomato pies are amazing. DJ Lowski holding it down per usual at all tailgates, watch parties. Make sure you go check him out. And then Crafty Jawn, man. Crafty Jawn, given all those chunky chains over the years. Crafty Jawn is so crafty and creative. Look at Tim's 4th and Jawn chunky chain in the back. Shout out to him. And if you're whining about your graphics, make sure you hit Jesse_Wines on Instagram. He'll hit you up with the graphics. We were out on the road this weekend, and someone walked up to me and asked me about Jesse Wines and his graphics. That's not a lie. Is that a lie? Is that a lie?
Not at all.
That is true.
Not at all.
It's true, factual.
Facts.
Also, shout out to Evan Hollywood Hearn with these cheesesteaks, man. Killing. But last word, Tim. Last word before we get out of here.
Man, Eagle fans, pray for better days. Because we got a long season ahead of us. But let's stay positive. We can vent. This is what these are for. That's why Gail is Eagle Sessions is for us to vent. Yeah, man. But no matter what, man, we bleed green. We're gonna stick with it. So go Birds. Let's go. And have a great weekend, guys. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm out of words. I said it in my say it with your chest segment. It's always gonna be go Birds. I'm not gonna pray anymore. Just do it. Just do it. Just get your shit together, man. Please. All right. 2 weeks. Like I keep on mentioning, 2 weeks. You got plenty enough time. Whatever you gotta do, fix it. And if you need some help, give me a holler. You need that. You need some type of hype in that damn locker room. By all means, if I could get a free pass up in there to speak my mind, I'm all for it.
He gonna be trying to be the Gilly the Kid.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And I will not hold back. I would not hold back.
Which lockers are you going to first?
I'm going to the defense.
Oh.
I'm gonna go pay Mr. Slay a visit.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm going to the defense.
Yeah, man. Last words before we get out of here. I mean, appreciate you guys all in the chat for sticking through the therapy session. Appreciate all you Eagle fans on the road, man. We're getting an opportunity to meet all you guys face to face, people that we don't even know. Like, there's a lot of regulars we see at tailgates and games around here, but like people down south and Virginia, like just random people from all over the place we've never met before face to face. A lot of you came up to us and let us know that you enjoy what we're doing and you tell us to keep going. So we're gonna keep going. But shout out to you guys, man. Last words. It's at this point in time. I want Nick Sirianni and the coaching staff to get it together, because you guys are the grown-ups in the room. I think the team, if you need to have a team-only meeting, the leaders got to lead. We know Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's that dude. But who's the guy that's going to get in the other guys' faces about stuff they don't like what they're seeing from their teammates, from stuff on social media, whatever? Who's going to get this team back on track? Is it Jalen going to get this team focused, ready to go? Leaders lead, man, and winners win. And Eagles got to start winning games and get healthy. But thank God for the bye week. And thank God for you diehard Eagles fans for supporting your damn Eagles. We'll see you guys in the next one. As always, fly, Eagles, fly.
Peace.